right, Leo, welcome into your end of year, end of the winter solstice, coming into the spring solstice, so end of the astrological year reading. To do that, I'm going to be using these archetype cards. I'm really interested in the archetype that you have embodied over the last year, and so through the archetype, we can complete a karmic lesson, learn and overcome from the archetype a certain kind of challenge. So what is the cycle that just has completed for you there, Leo? So I'm going to go ahead and get some oracle advice as to the archetype that's completing for you. I'm going to be clarifying this oracle, the oracle message, with some tarot. In the extended, I'll go deeper into what comes out in the tarot, as well as get some advice from the animals, an animal spirit advice, and some messages, a message from your soul, a soul truth message. This reading is a timeless reading, so whenever you're seeing this reading, it applies to you. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and feel free to give a thumbs up in appreciation of this content, any additional content, or how this reading related to you. I would appreciate those messages there in the description box. I'm sorry, in the comment section. The description box will provide information on how to get to the extended reading. All right there, Leo. So let's go ahead and get started. Spirit, what message do you have for Leo? What cycle have they recently completed? What archetype did they complete that lesson through, please? What lesson has been completed? What lesson is ending? What cycle is ending for Leo here, Spirit? What cycle is ending for Leo? All right. The card that comes up is the Saboteur in reverse. You really have been working in this last year, Leo, on figuring out how to stop behaviors that aren't really in your best interest, and constantly wanting to sabotage others. So being in a place of sabotaging yourself and sabotaging others. This is because you're very unhappy, right? Very, very much unhappy. I mean, when you're in joy and in alignment with love, you're not doing these kinds of things. This is great that you've had these lessons in figuring out over this past year on how to overcome being the saboteur in your own life and to other people. However, that would have been a very, very tough lesson, right? That lesson would not have come without its challenges. I'm going to go ahead and see what additional message might come out here in the book. But manifests as self-destructive behavior. Everyone has this archetype. This is interesting. So not all of the messages here have this, but everyone has a saboteur within them. So once you realize how you're sabotaging yourself and how you're sabotaging others, then you can understand your fears around low self-esteem, things that cause you to make choices that block your own empowerment and success. And so good for you, Leo. What a great cycle to really come out of, but definitely would have been very challenging. So to clarify this, let's go a little bit deeper. I'm going to use the Voyager Tarot deck. I'm going to pull 4 cards. One of the cards will be Where Are You Now? Another one is How Have You Grown? How have you grown out of being a saboteur? And then what still needs to be released? Okay. What's sort of lingering from this archetype for you? And then what is the surprise the universe has for you in the new astrological year, right? As we move into the spring equinox, what's a surprise from the universe? All right, Spirit, what can you tell us here to clarify, please, for us with Leo? Okay. So, currently you're in the card that comes out is Feeler, Child of Cups. So, you're in your emotions, you're in your feelings, right? This is self-empowerment. Self-destructive behavior has to do with low self-esteem. So when we are feeling very low, we're not going to really be in touch with our emotions too much. We're going to be covering those things up. You may have been involved, when you're hurting yourself and you're hurting others, that feels pretty icky. So you may have had a lot of ways in which you may have coped with some of these behaviors to cover up. Maybe being angry, maybe being checked out, basically not feeling. But now you're in touch with your feelings, Leo, and you're like a child. Like, look at the happiness on these kids' faces. It's like returning back to your childhood and feeling the feelings again. And they feel wonderful. And you're letting yourself feel happiness, right? And be like a child again. This is Child of Cups, or in a traditional deck would be a Page of Cups. There's a chance for new, not just feelings, but creativity. Just really being in a very warm and joyous place. What growth have you completed? This is pretty, the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant is really about getting in touch with figuring out how your own spirituality, somehow connecting to something more than yourself. This is what spirituality is. It's not about necessarily, an institution, but your connection to spirit, right? And when you reconnect back to spirit, you remember your purpose, right? When you allow love to come into you from spirit, then you can, this happens when you open up to your feelings. Then you can get out of self-sabotaging behavior, right? And try to sabotage others because you're jealous. And you can see here, this person is like in their hot air balloon and they can take off, right? You can experience life and begin to have the joy of that. But that has happened to you because you've been able to tap into your higher self, your spiritual self. You've had an ability to connect to something outside of you. And sometimes when we're in this sabotaging place, it's because we're very closed off and feeling alone, and I'm out for myself and no one else. Seeing other people being successful, you want to kind of drag them down because you're in such a low spot and you can't make sense of it. But you've had this great breakthrough by getting in touch with your spirituality. I mean, you can really see how at the center of this photo, this crescent moon is really this connection to the universe, and with that, this wonderful pulling together of your past, where you've come out of, and not just you, but your ancestors, right? I mean, we have this elephant, this elephant energy, elephants who don't forget. Elephant is very much also very much connected to family, right? Lots of different depictions of ancestors, and we've got these columns here, these pillars. They've got Egyptian hieroglyphics on it. This is this piece up here, but what are the pillars, the foundation behind who you are and your ancestors and people, and where are you coming out of? What is sort of these karmic patterns, these past traditions, and that knowing and connecting to something outside of yourself, not just spiritually with the universe, but spiritually with the other souls that have come before you, has really allowed you to break through this cycle. What continues to need to be let go of? Okay, this is Four of Wands. And in this deck, we can see it as aspiration. So needing to constantly reach to be more and more and more, right? This breakthrough, this dawn, I've got to climb. There's another hill to tackle. I mean, this gets into the saboteur for sure, especially when you're sabotaging other people's success. That jealousy comes out of like not being able to be happy for other people to reach their aspirations and goals, and maybe you're not feeling like you're doing it. And really, one thing you've learned to do is get in touch with your feelings and emotions about that, so you can release that, because otherwise then you become trapped in this competitive cycle. Like, well, I've got to keep up with the Joneses, or I've got to pay attention to what other people do, or I'm constantly comparing myself to another person. The other thing that can happen here is, while you're always in aspiration mode, you're never content. You're always striving. Like, where is the comfort? Where is the rest? Where is the peace? Where is the enjoyment of life, right? So this still is lingering. This, you haven't quite figured out that you don't need to keep climbing. You don't always need to keep reaching for that next goal and that next goal and that next goal. And a lot of that is not being content with who you are. Not being able to just be centered in the now. And loving yourself, right? For the beautiful child that you came into this world as. I mean, this is enough, and from this place, really look at all the different ways in which we can express our joy and happiness. This is just like up, go, more, reach, set a new limit, set a new goal, set a new task. And Spirit is really saying you need to release that and just enjoy where you are, enjoy the moment. Because doing this is actually this is sabotaging behavior. This constant striving is sabotaging you. It's setting you back. It's keeping you from your joy. And then that's when you see other people successful or happy or relaxed, you get bitter, like, oh, look at those lazy people. They're not, working as hard as I do. You're resentful of people who have fun. You're resentful of people who have, attain something that you've set as a goal. You're resentful at yourself because you might try to have fun and you really should be, I should be doing more. I should be reaching more. I should set another goal. And then you can't even appreciate when you do achieve goals, right? It's like, no, what's next? Spirit's saying that has to go the wayside. From underneath, I got this one, disappointment, 5 of Cups. Interesting. The surprise from the universe for next year. Disappointment, 5 of Cups. Well, what is this surprise? Yeah, a surprise from the universe for next year. Something that you thought was important. Disappointment isn't going to happen, but something that's important to you, like something you think is very much connected to something you're very passionate about, something you have a lot of feeling about. There's going to be disappointment. Something you've been trying to get, probably something you've been striving for here, isn't going to happen. That's a surprise. Now, this is a loving spirit. So the sadness and the grief that you have over something that you really held very close to your heart is something that needs to go. It's going to come as a surprise to you, though. This is a surprise. But, usually when something gets cleared away, that's because something even more amazing and beautiful is coming in. So if you look at this card, you can see all these like broken glasses. Water in the tarot is very much emotion. But in the distance, in the top corner there is this rose in the sun. Like out of all of this smashed, mishmash mess, there's one beautiful rose. And that's the surprise, right? Is this rose that remains, right? This one up here that remains amidst all this broken, the glasses, the pottery, the dreams, amidst your broken dreams, is this one rose, and really probably the thing that's the it thing. And that's what Spirit's bringing in for you. Not all of these other things that you were really attached to. They just kind of, they were fragile. They really weren't real. They wouldn't have been able to crumble like this. The thing that's real survives, and that's that rose. So that's the surprise for next year for you there, Leo. I will clarify in the extended, and go deeper to sort of sort out what's that rose, what's going on with your aspiration, and what are you feeling, what's going on around those feelings, and then to talk more about your connection to Spirit. I will say, as far as signs that you might be dealing with right now, Hierophant is Taurus, so there's a Taurus around you that is part of your growth, right? That's helping you grow, because this is in the growth place. So either you have a Taurus, this is what you're coming out of. So definitely that Taurus, there's a Taurus around you who's been helping you grow. I would say probably someone who's going to continue on with you, because they're connected to you in this very spiritual journey. All right, to close out this part of the reading, I'm going to get a card from the Whispers of Healing guidebook. Since we are talking about healing karma, healing cycles, when we move through the archetype, whatever archetype you're embodying, the saboteur, a lot of this work is around healing yourself from self-destructive. When you hurt yourself and hurt others, you can't build strong relationships with other people, and you certainly can't build them with yourself. And so you can't trust yourself, and that's not a great place to be in. So now you've done that healing work, right? You've healed that part of yourself there, Leo. So let's see what additional advice Spirit has for you. Yeah, whispers of healing. What whispers of healing are coming through here for Leo Spirit? Card from the cover, and this one is grateful, right? And it's a 47, which is an 11 card, but really, I mean, this is embodying the idea of gratitude, right? A message of gratitude, to be grateful for what you have, especially when we're constantly striving, like, I need more, I need to be better. No, Spirit is saying, be grateful for what is in your life. There's so much beauty around you, and goodness in your life already that you may be missing out on. Let's see. Let me go ahead and read a little bit here. When faced with crisis, stress, a busy schedule, or other issues, you may lose your ability to slow down and appreciate the beauty of life. You may be focusing on what you don't have rather than what you do. Commit to offering a daily prayer of gratitude for all the good things in your life. When you are thankful for the people in your life, you show it through gestures. While you are dealing with a situation, you may start to take your support team for granted. Remember that the people in your life are there for a reason. They may be here to help you learn specific lessons. They may be learning something from you as well. The benefit that comes from valuing the people who touch your life cannot be expressed strongly enough. When you forget to be thankful for the things others do for you, you move away from your true spiritual essence. And this is something, Leo, you've just come into. You've grown so much to recognize that you're more than just, this human being. You're a soul with a purpose, an eternal purpose. It's connected to a web of so many other souls. It's connected to the entire universe. Stop and analyze your life and the people in it. Appreciate the accomplishments of the last year. Recognize what is important in your life and remember to be grateful for it. A beautiful maiden watches a painted lady butterfly. This butterfly brings a message that life is short and must be valued. The peacocks above the maiden's head signify integrity and beauty. They are a reminder of all you can achieve when you work to know the truth of who you are. This means showing gratitude to those around you, as you truly are a thankful person. Treasure every day, even those that are not the best. All right, Leo, I'm going to continue on with this. A wonderful message of gratitude as we close out. So if you want to follow on, I will be over in the extended reading. Otherwise, bye.